there we
Hey,
go.
that's cool. I've never seen that before. Also,
Yes.
I thought there was more of me.
Oh, well, you're gonna have to talk to super producer
Oh yeah,
Alyssa there.
Alyssa.
Yeah.
I'm. All right, fantastic. She's rolling right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just glad to
Just
make
add
the
more
cut.
clips.
By the way, I'm glad to make the cut.
Yes.
Thank you for
and
putting
we
that
are glad
together.
to have you here, Stephen, for another KSAT News Now. On a Thursday morning, we're
Yeah.
talking, week seems to be going by a little bit good, but we're not complaining about that.
It does. You know, I just got a haircut yesterday. We were talking about like time to head to the barber, go
Yeah.
get that trim up. Funny story, I was just getting ready to tell you, I had a really bad haircut when I actually first started here at KSAT, and it was right before picture day.
That's the
I usually
worst.
I usually do
Yeah.
like a one tapered up to like a
Yeah.
half, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I guess there was miscommunication. The whole side got
Oh.
shaved off.
Yikes.
Rocked
Yeah.
that for about a year or so, but you know, made it work. It's grown in.
That's not your badge photo, right? Is that
No, my
Okay.
badge photo was somewhere, but you know, actually that was before that haircut, so we're not going backwards.
Okay, all right, yeah. Let's just forget about that experience, because yeah, man, always looking very sharp.
Well, you as well. We're
like a
talking about the
James
beard.
Bond or something, man.
You know what? The little black on black, Papa Red.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, very
Excited
nice
for
stuff
the
there.
weekend.
And now we see Alyssa as she is recording us off camera here.
You know, and I appreciate being in the intro and the cold open with you guys. A little glimpse of me is totally fine.
Yeah, it is it's a nice intro, but yeah, let's add some more Steven in there if we can, for sure.
Now, well, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we are, of course, streaming and podcasting from the KSAT newsroom, and of course, covering your big news of the day, trending news as well. And one of the stories that we're going to talk about here in just a bit is this big, to me, it was very surprising news overnight that Brittney Griner had been released. So we're now hearing that part of her return will include a stop here in San Antonio. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, huge news, RJ. And you've certainly seen a bunch of AI self-portraits. Someone jumped on that bandwagon, showing up on social media. We'll dive into the trend. And honestly, there's also some controversy behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. And TikTok is about to be banned for certain state employees. So this is a pretty interesting story. We'll explain this one here in just a bit.
Yeah, but we're going to have to start with the latest on WNBA star Brittney Griner, who is on her way back to the U.S. after she was released from a Russian jail in a dramatic prisoner exchange.
Again, this news developing overnight, and so in order to get Brittney Griner out of Russia, the U.S. released notorious arms dealer Victor Bout, but the U.S. was not able to free American Paul Whelan, who has been jailed there for nearly 4 years.
Griner is a two-time Olympic gold medalist from the Houston area. She went to jail in Russia in February on drug charges, and there has been pressure on the White House to bring her back.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like every week there was something new,
Right.
some sort of negotiations taking place. So the exchange here took place in Abu Dhabi overnight, and there are multiple reports that Griner will be flown to one of our military bases right here in San Antonio to be evaluated. Now, some good news here is that her wife was with Brittney Griner there for the exchange, so her wife is also traveling back with Griner here. Maybe to San Antonio is what we're hearing right now.
Yeah, you know, and I was reading, that she would be offered specialized medical treatment, also counseling, but U.S. officials did not go into great details due to privacy concerns. But it's obviously been a saga we've been following for months. And as you mentioned, you were surprised. I was surprised to see that during the early morning hours when these reports started coming out.
And there's been a lot of people that were a little concerned about this because this individual that we had to swap, the prisoner swap, is a known arms dealer.
Right.
I think his nickname is the Merchant of Death.
Yeah.
So he's sold several weapons, munitions to other organizations or people that obviously have tried to inflict harm on the U.S. So there was a lot to this. But the Biden administration feeling like it was time to bring Brittney Griner back to the U.S.
And not to mention, and go back to mention Paul Whelan.
Yeah.
We know that he's been there for 4 years now. Biden also mentioned earlier when he addressed the country that they will continue negotiating in good faith that they can for Paul Whelan's release. But we know his family also sending their support as well for Griner's release. But it definitely is something that they are continuing to monitor, and they are hoping to bring him home at some point as well.
Yeah, and Paul Whelan there for what the Russian government claims are espionage charges. So a little bit, I think, on the severity level, a little bit more, but still 4 years there for him. But Brittney Griner is headed back, and we will continue to follow this. Again, she may be evaluated here at BAMC.
Right.
We're hearing maybe, some reports about that.
And we have to move on to the families from Uvalde, because they made a trip up to our nation's capital for the 10th annual National Vigil for all victims of gun violence. Now, the trip actually comes 6 months after the Robb Elementary School massacre, where 19 students and 2 teachers were killed.
Yes, this vigil brought together other families and survivors from around the country, including some from Newtown, Connecticut, where the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting happened almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, we are fast approaching that anniversary, that time as well. Although the families and survivors shared in their grief, their mission now is to push for change.
Yeah, we've been seeing that since that shooting took place, that these families have not stopped fighting for some form of justice here, whether it's in accountability or in sort of law enforcement. So Uvalde families continue to push for gun safety legislation, including a proposed ban on assault weapons, which is headed for debate in the Senate.
Right. Kimberly Rubio, whose daughter Lexi was actually killed in Uvalde back on May 24th, she told ABC News that they were trying to put pressure on the Senate so that way that bill could get down to the floor and at least they have it there for vote. She said, if anything, for accountability.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that we have seen them continually fight for. In the aftermath of this, obviously still mourning, grieving the loss of their children. I always think, this is going to be the first Christmas that their children are not going to be part of their lives, but these families have continued to send this message to hopefully have some sort of accountability.
Right. And what was interesting about this vigil, RJ, is that you have the families from Uvalde that are there, you have families and survivors from Sandy Hook that have also attended. So, tragedy tore their lives apart, but their grief has brought them together. And right now, the memories of those lost during these senseless acts of violence is what's motivating them to push for that change. And so, it's something obviously that has continued to play out for months, and it doesn't seem that we're going to see any resolution anytime soon. But obviously, the families there in Uvalde, supported by those from Newton, Connecticut, and hopefully we can find some peace, especially during the holidays, as you mentioned. Really difficult time.
Yeah, very well said there. So back here at home, here in Texas, some workers here can prepare to say goodbye to TikTok. Yes, that social media platform. And this is at least if you have a device that was issued by the state government. And all of this because Governor Greg Abbott has issued a ban on the popular social media app for all government cell phones and computers. Yeah,
and the reason Abbott says that TikTok is because TikTok poses a threat to state information, given that the app is owned by Chinese company ByteDance Ltd. Now, the ban comes after FBI Director Chris Wray raised national security concerns about TikTok.
Yeah, and they expressed here that worry about the Chinese government could get these apps, the recommendations, the algorithms, and obviously manipulate content or uses. So basically just getting a bunch of data from
the data, yes. Yeah. Abbott joins other Republican governors from South Dakota, South Carolina, and Maryland who have banned TikTok on government-issued devices. This is obviously another story that we've seen play out with TikTok and the concerns that have mounted for privacy.
Absolutely. I was reading on ABC News that I guess TikTok officials had said that all their data is stored outside of China. So that's basically how they're sort of justifying the use of the platform here in the U.S. Do you get on TikTok?
I don't go near it only because social media, I can handle the Instagram, I can handle Facebook, Twitter. Barely, but TikTok is a whole nother game, my friend.
Very addictive there. I usually will peruse, but I don't spend a lot of time on there.
Yeah,
I can see the concerns. Obviously.
Yes, the concerns are something about with regards to privacy, but it starts with those government-issued cell phones, computers that obviously contain sensitive information. So these governors are taking those steps in what they say will protect that private information or keep that information private.
I also feel like our information's probably already out there.
Yeah.
It's on a bunch of different things, but that's a whole different discussion there.
Well, speaking of social media, over the past week, there has no doubt been an AI-generated, there have been a ton of them actually, AI-generated selfies all over your feeds, and many are wondering where they came from.
All right, so many of the pics are coming from an app called Lensa, and this uses artificial intelligence to create up to 50 selfies after users submit a series of photos of themselves.
Now, the images are fun, and some are stunning works of art, but there are also some major concerns about the app, from privacy worries to copyright issues.
All right, so critics of the app are pointing out that the AI-generated images are stealing art. The Philadelphia Inquirer reported that Lensa critics are saying the platform uses nonprofit loopholes to access thousands of real images and photographs while profiting from the results there.
And those are Dylan Collins, who is a former producer here. Wow, I mean, look at that photo. And Mark Austin. These are pretty remarkable. In fact,
They're beautiful. They're beautiful. They really are.
I jumped on the bandwagon. I was talking to our producer, Alyssa, there, Sarah Acosta. One of the things that controversies we mentioned about the copyright issues with artists and stealing work from the artists. I'm all about supporting local artists, and I want to make sure that I can continue to do that. I jumped on the bandwagon. I'm going to go back and actually delete mine just in support of that. But obviously this is a very popular app that people are using. My feed is flooded with so many of them, and there's no doubt that they are beautiful images, but obviously leading to a lot of controversy as well. We talked about, also Alyssa and I, we talked about some people who may form a body dysmorphia as well. There's been people that have been very vocal about that.
Because some of the images coming out maybe not exact to a person's shape or even maybe their skin color as well. I was reading about that maybe some of the images coming back have a lighter skin than what maybe some people have been submitting. So there's a lot of controversy here. And then of course the data, we were talking about the data with TikTok, just the gathering of data, and we've seen a lot of different apps use facial recognition technology and things of like that nature. So it's a lot going on with this.
There is, social media right now. I mean, it's in itself, it's a trend with all these different apps. But it is definitely an interesting app at that.
Yeah, but some of the images that have come back have been pretty stunning. I mean, we saw a few right there, and then Sarah Acosta had hers right there. I mean, just some real stunning images. Yours were nice too. I mean, I know you want to take them down.
But the truth is, my neck is not that long. My neck is not that long. I wish it was a little longer, but I'm happy with what my mom and dad gave me.
There you go. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. All right, so we were, before the show, trying to do a little tongue twister here.
Meteorologist Madeline Montgomery.
There's a lot of M's going on in association with my name.
I love it though. I'm all about the alliterations.
It's
We're gonna
fun,
do a little
but
it
is like a tongue twister.
Meteorologist Mia Madeline Montgomery, mute your mic.
Mute your mic.
Yes, we weren't telling her to mute her mic,
but
we were just trying to add all the M's that we probably could throw in there.
Yeah. That was pretty good what y'all came up with.
Yeah,
I will say.
It's just the beginning.
It's all the things. We'll see how good y'all do with today's trivia question. All right, here we go. So speaking of M's, meteorological instrument is used to measure humidity. So our 4 choices here: hygrometer, not to be confused with a hydrometer, thermometer, barometer, or anemometer. We've got a lot of mometers going on here.
A lot of mometers from Mia Montgomery.
Yep, there you go.
Let's see. You know what? I just like the word. What is this?
Hygrometer.
Hygrometer. Hygrometer.
So that's what you're going with,
I'm going with that, just because I like the word.
Go with C.
Go with barometer.
I don't know. Okay.
We're going with A.
Congratulations.
Yes. Oh wow!
By the way.
Right.
There we go. So yes, a hygrometer is used to measure the amount of water vapor in the air. These instruments use measurements of temperature, pressure, mass, or an electrical change in a substance as moisture is absorbed to find that humidity value.
That's
so
fancy
there you go.
Stuff there.
Yeah, it is pretty
Meteorologist
fancy.
Mia Montgomery.
Thank you. Yes, but the reason why we bring that up, of course, is because today is yet another unseasonably warm and humid day. We had some reduced visibilities out there in spots earlier this morning. Still do have some lower visibility really in our far western counties near Del Rio, out there in Valverde County. Here in San Antonio, still do have the clouds in place, but not too bad, at least here on the roadways. But yeah, stepping outside this morning, it is still very muggy out there. You can feel the humidity with dew points, how we measure that low level moisture, still in the mid to to upper 60s out there. So we still have a few days left with this higher humidity in place. That is going to stick with us in and out of the upcoming weekend, but we do have some changes that look to near San Antonio as we head into next week with a little bit more of a substantial cold front. So we'll keep eyes on that, but until then, it is going to be another unseasonably warm afternoon out there, kind of like what we saw yesterday. This morning cloud cover tries to break up a bit in spots into the afternoon, helping temperatures climb into the upper 70s and low 80s out there. So again, just for context, our average high for this time of year is around 66 degrees here in San Antonio. This morning's low was in the low 70s, so we're starting off the day even warmer than where we should be finishing each day this time in December. So just goes to show that yes, it is a lot warmer than where we should be. If you're stepping out for any Thursday evening plans, it'll still be muggy. Temperatures slow to fall through the 70s, and then again, like the past several days, kind of just copy and paste this weather pattern and these conditions. We'll start to see the cloud cover build back in through the overnight, more fog and likely some spots of drizzle first thing tomorrow morning. So once again, give yourself some extra time for the Friday morning drive. You can see that yes, the humidity sticks with us into the upcoming weekend and into the beginning of next week, but by Tuesday and into Wednesday, that's when we're monitoring for our next cold front to move in. That could drop our temperatures closer to the seasonal average by the middle of next week and filter in some drier air, helping it feel a little bit more comfortable out there as well. So again, we'll monitor that. Still a lot of details to fine tune when it comes to that pattern change next week. But until then, it's just going to be more of the same, guys, into the upcoming weekend. It's going to be warmer than it should be. It's going to be humid out there. And by Saturday and Sunday, there's going to be a boundary that approaches from the north, so maybe we'll find a couple showers to a couple of thunderstorms out there this weekend. Probably not going to be for everybody, but that's going to be something that we're going to monitor there as well.
Okay.
You know, one of the things we said earlier during Good Morning San Antonio, the early newscast, was that it feels very December-less.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Very much
Sure.
so.
Yeah,
So.
but you know what? A little sunshine will help out those solar lights that I bought.
Oh, there
on
we go.
Amazon.
Yeah, I know. You've been talking about those solar lights.
I have. And you know what? I had a little bit of sunshine yesterday, Mia, and
Good.
they just started twinkling. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's
Okay.
progress.
We'll take what we can get,
I'll
right, when it
try
comes
to do a positive
that.
spin
Look
on
at
that.
that.
Yes,
Exactly.
good job.
Glass half full
Your
here.
optimism, I love
Glass
it.
half
Oh,
full.
well, thank you. Yeah.
Mia Madeline Montgomery, meteorologist Mia Madeline Montgomery.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank
Good
very
job,
much.
guys. Good job.
Thanks, Mia.
All right, so even though it is feeling, what did you say,
December-less.
December-less. Obviously, Christmas is right around the corner, and this is the season for giving, and Amazon has come up with a unique way to give back to their drivers, but they definitely need your help.
Yeah, they've got a Tip Your Driver program going on right now. If you have an Alexa, all you have to do is tell her, tip my driver, and that will send a $5 tip to your most recent Amazon delivery driver.
All right, so here is the other big part of this. It's actually at no cost to you. Amazon is giving the tips to the first 1 million drivers that get that tip from Alexa.
You know what, and they so need it. They're so busy right now.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Then the top 5 drivers who receive the most thank yous will also be given $10,000 for themselves and $10,000 for a charity of their choice.
Yeah, this is a great idea. I mean, this is honestly a really cool idea. Also, get this, if you do not have in Alexa, you can still participate using the Amazon app. So
Yeah.
all you got to say is, what is it? Tip my driver, and boom, $5 goes to your driver. And as you mentioned, they are so busy this time of year.
Yeah.
And one thing you definitely want to make sure is that all your packages get there safe, because we've seen those videos where
They do. You know what? Amazon has been making a lot of trips to my house, and I feel, almost feel a little guilty. Yesterday, there was about 3 trips that were made.
Oh, wow.
You know, so and
Yeah.
this was the morning, afternoon, and night. So they are always dropping off.
Yeah.
Whether it be coffee, solar panel lights, or whatever it is, they are dropping it off, and their job is nonstop. So those tips will definitely go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely, and anything to just help anyone out during the holidays as well. It definitely helps as people get set to maybe start buying some gifts. Have you started?
I was going to ask you, did you start?
No, I have not. So
don't tell your wife that.
No, I know.
I haven't started either, though. So honestly, we're in it together. But Amazon does. I mean, you do
Hey,
shopping
here we go.
online.
I'm going to be tipping a lot of drivers, I guess, trying to get those packages.
It'll be a good. Yeah. Hey. Well, you know what? Here's a tip.
Oh.
Thank you for having me. I don't think that's a tip. That's a thank you.
No, that'll
It's a
work.
thank you. It's a
That'll
thank you. It's like a
work. Yeah,
tip.
that'll work.
Hey, thank you for having me.
And I saw Alyssa. She was shooting a little bit more video of us.
Oh, you know, Alyssa, thank you for throwing me in there. Okay, but let me tell you, I was still very thankful to be a part of that intro. That was really cool.
A cameo.
Thank you so much. And anytime I can make an appearance here on KNN with my buddy RJ and
go.
Alyssa,
Yeah.
I'm always for it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys for being with us today on KSAT News Now. It is Friday Eve, so we will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m.